but can Biden fix the cost of living adjustments? Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Harry in Lovelock, Nevada. Hey, Harry, what's on your mind?
Hey, Tom. Just wondering what your opinion is of all the money printing that's going on, how it's going to affect those of us on fixed income. I'm on Social Security, and what little money I have set aside to get me by through retirement is being repressed from an interest rate standpoint by the Fed printing all this money to bail out business, basically. They've been printing money for so long now. The cost of living adjustments that they give us on Social Security is ridiculous. It's, probably 1/10 of what the actual cost of living increases are. How is this going to affect us? The stimulus is only a one-time or two-time check for us, and the inflationary consequences are going to be long-term. Basically, it's a payday loan against, all American workers, and business doesn't mind. They get the money, from everything.
Well, they can borrow at cheap rates. No, I get what you're saying, Harry. I would suggest, though, that your issue is not with the Fed money printing, and it's been real. I mean, the Fed has printed somewhere between $7 and $10 trillion. And back, in 2008, when George Bush blew up the economy with the housing crisis, they printed $20 trillion, an entire year's GDP. In response to the COVID crisis, they printed about $7 trillion. But neither of those produced inflation, or at least any, consequential or measurable inflation, at least so far, which has got a lot of people scratching their heads. I think that what you're talking about is the federal debt, which is disconnected from money printing. They're two separate different things. And the federal debt becomes a problem if interest rates go up and the federal government has to allocate more and more money toward paying the interest on the debt as opposed to, covering actual expenses. But your real complaint is with Congress. There are, as I recall, 6 different COLAs that I believe it's the Department of Commerce that comes up with the COLAs. I may be wrong on that. It might be a different agency, but one of the federal agencies comes up with cost of living adjustments, and there are at least 6 of them. The one that Bernie wants used for Social Security is called C.O.L.A, and it actually measures the expenses of people who are retired. It's heavily weighted towards medication, toward housing, toward heating, toward electricity, just the basic expenses of life and medical expenses. The primary COLA that is used, however, by Social Security and in most other circumstances is your C.O.L.A, I believe it's called. And that one, the problem with that is that it's heavily weighted toward technology. Now, that was not a huge issue pre-1990. Because, as cars got fancier or whatever, they tended to get a little more expensive, but, it wasn't a huge thing. But Moore's Law is what's killed the cost of living adjustments. Moore's Law that every 2 years technology doubles in speed and cuts by 50% in price. And because computers and computer products and products based on the internet and all this kind of stuff, because those are a big part of the COLA, number one, and those have been getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper while getting more and more powerful and capable over time. So they have a profound suppressive effect on COLAs, number one. And then number two, when Reagan stopped enforcing the Buy America Act, which required the federal government to buy everything that it buys from an American manufacturer. This is a law that was passed back in 1934, if I'm remembering correctly. It was during the Great Depression. When Reagan stopped enforcing that and started allowing government agencies to buy things from overseas as part of this whole neoliberal idea that if we can just promote international trade, that'll lead to world peace. And really what it was a hustle so that American manufacturers could move their jobs overseas. So we started shutting down clothing factories in the United States, manufacturing factories in the plants in the United States. We don't make toys in the United States anymore. All of those things are also included in that C.O.L.A. And because we're now, the prices that are being measured are the prices of cheap crap coming from China that's being sold on Amazon and in Walmart, the price on those things has gone down. Everything from bicycles to little rubber swimming pools for your kids for the backyard to garden hoses. I mean, you just fill in the blanks, right? Pretty much everything. The price has come down over the last 20 or so years, and but not not for any good reason, you know, but because we've been offshoring things, that has driven down that COLA. And so what Bernie has been saying, and what a lot of progressives have been saying, is that we need to be using COLAs that do not consider those two variables. That those should be in the COLA E. They should be in the outlier COLA rather than in COLA A, in the primary COLA.
Yep.
And
Are you there, Tom?
and that's a
No.
Say what?
Yeah, I was just going to say, the inflation issue is something all retired people ought to watch very carefully. It's like the guy who fell off the
You're absolutely right.
building